Here's Oxford Dictionary, my favorite dictionary. Something that is given to a person or an organization. So our organization, Smrt live classes, in order to help them, right? So if you have, $1 or $2 or $5 or something, it will help us. Um, it will help us with our goals, right? It will help us. It will support us. We want to add more classes. Right now, it's just Mark and Sean, right? But we want to add more classes. We want to have, we want to have 10 classes every week about different things like writing or reading or vocabulary. And right now we don't have enough. We don't have enough teachers. We don't have enough money. So if you can help us, that's great. And you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to donate. That's no problem. Only if you can. Okay? Only if you can. Some people don't have a lot of money, and I understand that. But if you can, we would really appreciate your support. Okay? And if you want, you can click the link. If you go to YouTube, you can click the link under the video in the video description. But let's stop talking about that and let's go on to modal verbs. So I think the technology, do we accept pesos? Yes, we accept pesos. I think anything's okay. Okay, so let's get on and start talking about modal verbs. Before I forget, Sean will not do a class today. So Yomera and Kayo and Marianne and Rosa and all the regulars, Paul, guys, Sean is not able to do a class today. He will be back next week. So we apologize about that, but we'll see you next week in Sean's class, okay? All right, modal verbs. In our Facebook group, and if you're watching on Facebook, come to YouTube, click the link and come to YouTube. So in the Facebook group, I asked everybody, what do you want me to talk about this week? What should I teach this week? And everybody chose modal verbs. It was the most popular choice, modal verbs. And probably many students don't understand what is a modal verb. So in your comments, guys, can you help me with the modal verbs? Can you type some modal verbs, please? I'll start with my favorite modal verb, can. This is my favorite modal verb. So please list modal verbs if you know any. And of course, some students will make mistakes, probably, that's okay. And I will talk about what a modal verb is after. AJ joined on Facebook, my old student from Turkey. I think she now lives in Seattle. AJ, how are you doing? AJ, come to Facebook, or come to YouTube. Okay, in the YouTube comments, lots of good answers from the regular students. Kayo, Yomera, Paul. Oh, a new student. I don't know this person. Thushara Ama, how are you? Nice to meet you. Pascoa, welcome. I don't know the difference between must and might. Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about that maybe today. Marianne's back. How are you, Marianne? Augustus is back. How are you, Augustus? Muradi, welcome. Good answers. Must and should. Yeah. Sort of, Paul? No. Ross Chanvito. Hi, Ross, or Rose. How are you doing? Yeah, so, hi, Tonic. Hi, Augustus. So let's list them. I see a lot of good answers. Could is a modal verb. Kayo wrote should. Paul's got some good ones. Shall and may. Yomera, might. Thank you, Yo. Yomera, what's your real name? Is that your real name, Yomera? It's okay if that's your real name. I've never heard that name before. Any other answers, guys? I think we're missing some still. Mardine has been waiting a long time. Mardine, he's in our Facebook group, right? He said must, yeah, okay. Francisco said would. Thank you, would. Now, Diana, hey Diana, how are you? Or Diana, or maybe Spanish, Diana. Should, did I write should, could, might, may, must, can? Oh, Diana, good job. Ought to, I forgot about that one. Now, Diana and Augustus, you guys wrote have to. And I'm sorry, that is not a modal verb. It's not a modal verb. Okay, so great answers on Facebook as well. Guys, I'm not really checking the Facebook comments so much. So I really hope you can come to YouTube. And if you're using a phone or if you're using an iPad, open the YouTube app. Don't go from Facebook. It doesn't work very well if you want to chat with me. If you want to chat with me, open the YouTube app and search for Smrt and look for my big head, and you can see our class and you can chat with me. Okay, and join the YouTube stream. Okay, so did we forget any? I don't think so. I think we forgot will, didn't we? Will. Kayo, supposed to is not a modal verb. Now, don't worry, guys. I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain. Ooh, Francisco, good question, and remind me about that, okay? Because we will talk about that. Guys, modal verbs are pretty special. It's a special part of English. Other languages usually don't have modal verbs. Do your native languages have modal verbs? Like does Spanish, Diana or Yomera, do you guys have modal verbs? Oh, Ryoko, my old student, better, okay. Ryoko, I think we'll write had better, okay, had better. Ryoko, this is not a modal verb, but we're going to talk about this today. So, good idea. Okay. All right. So why are these modal verbs, and why is have to not a modal verb? Okay. Well, first of all, the thing about modal verbs, if you want to make the negative of modal verbs, usually we just say the modal verb plus not. So Kayo just wrote shall, right? What does shall mean, Kayo, or anybody else? What does shall mean? Shall is not super popular. What does it mean, shall? Right? So if we want to make a negative, we just say shall not. Shall not. So I shall not, well, we could say this. Sean shall not teach today. What does that mean? What does that mean, guys? Anybody? Yeah, Paul, will. Is this more popular in England, Paul? Is this more popular in England? Because it's not super popular in American or Canadian English. What does this mean? Well, this meaning here is will, okay? He will not teach. Now, the meaning of will for shall is not really popular in English anymore. It's not really popular. But I want to show you that if we want to say negative, we just add not to a modal verb, right? So, can you say this? I have to go. What's the negative? Do we say this? I have not to go. Is that good? Is that good English? I have to go. I have not to go. How do you say I have to go with negative? Well, we have to say I don't have to go. I don't have to go. Okay. No, Jian Quan, no, not I have not go. We're talking about have to, right? What does have to mean? Well, it's very similar. I need to go, right? I need to go. Right, Alexandra, Marianne's brother, thanks for coming back. Don't have, Yo Mara, Diana, don't have. You see, guys, you see the difference? Yes, Jian Guan, don't have to go, right? So you see the difference. What's the negative of need to? How do you say need to, but in the negative? Remember modal verb, we just say modal verb not, right? Cannot, will not, should not, must not. But need not, I need not to go. I need not to go. Vincent, how you doing, buddy? How do you say need to in the negative? Thank you, Kaya. I don't need to go. I don't need to go. Good. Guys, in your chat, tell me, in the chat, YouTube chat, where are you guys today? Tell me where you are in the world, right? I know Yo Mara's in Mexico, Paul's in England, AJ is probably in the US. AJ, are you in the US or in Turkey? Gian, where are you? Are you in Korea? Mukhtar, where are you? Pascoa, where are you? I'm in Canada, right? Guys, come to Canada. Come to our school. CCEL, the Canadian College of English Language, canada-english.com. Check it out. Ooh, Russia, South Korea, Ulsan, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Cambodia, France. Cool. Wow, this is awesome. Mukhtar's in Saudi Arabia. Sweden. Oh, Yomara's in California. Canada, Vancouver. The most beautiful city in Canada, for sure. And the warmest city in Canada. Morocco, Libya. Cool. Hermosillo, Mexico. Jim Clark is in Riyadh. Jim, you don't have a Saudi name. That's very interesting. I'm in Sri Lanka. Can I come to Canada? Sure, yeah, anybody can come to Canada. Oh, AJ is now in Turkey, but we're moving to Germany, and we will visit you. I'm not in Germany, AJ. I'm sorry, I'm in Canada. So, but if you come to Vancouver, AJ, I'll definitely meet you guys again. I'm going to Macau. Cool, Vincent. All right, let's stop talking about countries. If you're on Facebook, come to YouTube, please. Okay, it's much better on YouTube. Okay, so. Do we understand the difference between a normal verb and a modal verb? Remember, a modal verb, if you want to say negative, we say not. Eritrea, cool. Belgium, cool. All right, Lumi, thanks. Come to YouTube, Lumi. But if you want to say the negative of a regular verb, example, like. Like is not a modal verb, right? I like pizza. You guys know I always talk about pizza. But salad, ugh. Salad is terrible. It's not for humans. Why do people eat salad? Ryoko likes salad, right? Ryoko, you eat salad, and always we disagreed about food in my class. I remember, Ryoko. But do we say this? I likened pizza? Right, Jian, right? And Ulsan, don't like. Right? So you see, like is not a modal verb. It's not a modal verb. But what about can? I can sing beautifully. It's not true, right? But what's the negative of I can sing? Diana, I'm a vegetarian, yes, but you know, vegetarians can eat delicious food like ice cream, right? Vegetarians don't always like salad, okay? Salad is for horses and cows. I agree, Raphael. Yes, okay, let's get back to modal verbs. I can't sing, right? Beautifully. Or I cannot sing beautifully. Yeah, I don't know why. But cannot is one word in English. I don't know why. So is can a modal verb? Did it pass the modal verb test? Did it pass the modal verb test? What's the modal verb test? Well, remember, can we say it plus not? Can we say it plus not? Right? Do you guys understand that? So let me Let me give you another example. Now, Paul, I'm really interested in your answer here, okay? I have a brother. Now, Ryoko, I think Ryoko is an only child. So, Ryoko, tell me, I have a brother or negative? Negative. Which one? Anybody? Who? Brother 0. I don't want to say the answer, but in the chat, tell me, I have a brother or brother, no brother. Please tell me. Ah, Rosa. Very good, Rosa. Yomera. Yes. Okay. Paul, what's your answer? I don't have a brother. Yes, I don't have a brother. Look, guys, is this a modal verb or a helping verb? Is it a modal verb or a helping verb? Remember, a modal verb or a helping verb, I'm saying helping verb because modal verbs are helping verbs. Helping verbs, you can use not after it. But this is not a helping verb. This is not a helping. Oh, what? Ryoko, you have a twin? Huh? I don't remember that. Okay. Anyways, this is not a helping verb. Okay, Diana? But what about this? I have been to Morocco. I have been to Morocco. In my life, I have been to Morocco. Jim has been to Morocco. I know Jim's funny story about Morocco, but we won't talk about that. We don't have time for that right now. Yeah, okay, so Tatianishna, what about here? I have been to Morocco. What's the negative of this? Right, Mustafa, Rosa, thank you. Hinata, and probably Brazil. I haven't. Do you guys understand the difference now? Whoops. This is a helping verb because we can say not. This is not a helping verb because we can't say have not a brother. Okay? Ain't nobody got time for that. Yes, excellent. So, modal verbs are helping verbs. Okay? Sometimes teachers say modal verbs, sometimes they say helping verbs. They're a little bit different, but today I don't want to talk so much about the difference of modal verbs and helping verbs. Also, modal verbs, when you're making a question, you can say a modal verb plus the subject plus the main verb. What, Mark? What? Okay, well, look, example. Can you... Vincent, don't go to bed. What are you saying? Vincent, this is important. Come on, man. Come on, you can go to bed later. Can you sing? Can you sing, right? See, modal verb, can, subject, you, and main verb, sing. Can you sing? What about this? What about will you go to bed, Vincent? Will you go to bed, Vincent? See, look right here, right here. Will is the modal verb, you is the subject, and go is the main verb. Okay, now once again, let's look at have to. Have to. Vincent, don't go. Mustafa, don't go. It's 12:26. Come on, Vincent. Are you getting old? Come on. All right. Can you say that? Can you say have to you go? Is that good English? Is that good English? Remember, modal verb, modal verb plus subject plus main verb. Is that okay? It's not okay, right? It's not okay. It's not okay, right? How do we say have to in a question? Yes, Gia and Guan. Yes, thank you very much. Do you have to go? Do you have to go? Right, you're right, Alexander. So do you guys understand what is the difference between a normal verb and a modal verb? Is that okay? Do you guys understand the difference? Another difference is a normal verb can change in English, right? A normal verb can change. Example, like, we can say liked. We can say likes. Sometimes we can say liking. Anything else? Like, likes. No. Okay, but what about can? Can is a modal verb. Can we change can? Can we say cans? No. Right? Can we say canned? No. Right? We can't change it. What about will? Can you change will? Can you say wills or willing? Well, willing is a different word in English, right? So do you guys understand? Do you understand the difference between normal verbs and modal verbs? Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah, Marta understands. Aroma, no. Maybe no, he's talking or she's talking about something from before. Okay, well, mi grupo de inglés, my English group, auxiliary verbs exactly the same as helping verbs. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, guys, Facebook people, come to YouTube. Check it out. And remember, guys, if you can, please donate, right? Donate to help us grow, right? To help us grow, right? Sean needs coffee, right? Okay. All right. So that's modal verbs. Now, here is the difficult thing about modal verbs. Usually, modal verbs have more than one meaning. Okay? They usually have more than one meaning. All right? This is the confusing thing for students. Okay, now I'll give you an example. Today I want to talk about should. A little bit about should. Okay, now sometimes we say this. Example, Vincent, you shouldn't go to bed. You need to study English. Right? You guys all, I think you understand this. I think this is one of the easier modal verbs in English, okay? It's a lot easier than some of the others. Or Gian, should I go to bed? What is this meaning? What is the meaning of shouldn't here? Why do I say shouldn't? Mardine, you should stop smoking. Yeah, okay. Vincent is popular. Well, Vincent is my old student. Vincent is from Taiwan, and he probably is not listening now, but he was my student for a long time. So I don't know. I know a lot about Vincent. Anyways, he's probably smiling. He knows I'm just joking. Okay, obligation. Yeah, Renata or Rosa, Paul, Kaio. Yeah, obligation. What does obligation mean? Obligation means something you must do, okay, or something you mustn't do, right? Obligation. Obligation, responsibility, maybe. I think the meaning of shouldn't is probably, advice. Advice. Yes, Mardine and Sandra and yeah, guys, you should smoke. You should stop smoking. Yeah, duty, Jian. That's a very popular word in Korea, right? Advice. Okay, so should is usually for advice or obligation, or like Jian says, duty, or like Sandra. What did Sandra say? Yeah, Muradi, mild obligation. Very good. What does mild mean, guys? Mild means not strong. Mild means not strong. Okay. Thank you, Muradi. That's a super good answer. Also, sometimes should is for suggesting. Thank you, Kaio. Right? So should we? Like example, guys, I'm bored. What should we do? I'm bored, right? So why do I use should? Well, like Aroma or Kaio said, use should for suggestions, right? Use should for suggestions, or so maybe Kaio, Zach, yeah, should we eat some pizza? All right, this is Zach's suggestion. Suggestion. If you don't understand suggestion, it's like, you know, an idea. His suggestion, his idea. Go hit the book if you're bored. Okay, yeah, thank you, Gian. Yeah, that's good advice. Should we get drunk, not be drunk? Should we get drunk? Get means become. But what about this? It should rain this afternoon. It should rain this afternoon. Now, guys, we've talked about advice. Is this advice? Am I giving advice to the weather? Am I giving advice to the weather? I don't think so. Is this a suggestion? Ah, Kaio, it's a prediction. It's kind of a prediction. Yeah, Augustus, probability, a guess. So you guys see what this is. A lot of students, they hear should and they think, oh, should, easy, I understand should. No, you don't. You don't understand this meaning of should. Well, maybe Kaio understands or Muradi understands. Yeah, and Mariana understands because she is my old student and Sean's old student, right? Yeah, come to our school. Probably Sandra, yes. You guys, wow, you guys, I'm really surprised. This is my expectation. Okay, it should rain today. Guys, I see lots of people on Facebook. Come to YouTube, join our YouTube stream, and you can see why we have a green wall behind me. What does this mean? It should rain today. Well, this means I think it will probably rain today. That's the meaning. That's the meaning of should. I think it will, right? That's the meaning of should. I think it will probably rain today. Okay? So this is an example that modal verbs have more than one meaning. Sometimes they have 2 meanings. Sometimes they have 7 meanings. And it's not usually a good idea to teach all of the meanings of each modal verb because it's just too confusing. Usually teachers don't say, okay, should, let's talk about should, let's talk about all the ways to use should. Usually teachers don't do that because it's not a good way to learn. Usually we teach meanings and then we say, you know, which modal verbs can we use for this meaning, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's look at this picture. What does this mean, guys? If you're on Facebook, come to YouTube. Jisoo, are you my old student, Jisoo? I see Jisoo on Facebook. Guys, what does this sign mean? Now, you understand the meaning, right? So write some different ways in the YouTube chat. Please write some different ways to say this. Imagine you are a worker and but try to use modal verbs, okay? Try to use modal verbs. Ooh, aroma. You can't take photos. You can't. Facebook people, you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Come to YouTube and you'll see. Don't take pictures, yeah? But come on, use modal verbs, guys. Mustn't, You should not, yes, Sandra, yes, right? So what does this mean? Well, Augustus understands this difficult word in English, right? Yes, guys, good. This is called prohibition. Prohibition. And see, there's prohibition. What does that mean? Well, it means no, right? And how the meaning of prohibition, how do you say this in English? Well, we can use modal verbs, right? Example, you can't take photos. What else, right? Like Gamal, how are you? You shouldn't take photos. That's a little mild. Remember that word mild, guys? It's not strong. So you shouldn't take photos, right? It's not strong, right? Yeah, not allowed. Wow, gosh, lots of those answers on YouTube. Shouldn't. What else? I don't see mustn't. Oh, Diana, my old student from Hermosillo. Thank you, Diana. You mustn't take photos. Yes. So look, guys, can't, shouldn't, mustn't, right? This is a more popular way to teach modal verbs, right? We understand the meaning now. Now, how can we say this? So shouldn't, it's a little mild. It's a little weak. It's a little weak, right? It's a little weak. Okay. Now we have, I think, Francisco. Francisco, are you still here on YouTube? Because Francisco, in a comment before, he said, do we have semi-modal verbs? And semi, I'm sure a lot of students don't understand semi. Semi, let's change his meaning. Do we have how do I explain semi-modal verbs? Do we have, let's say, almost modal verbs? Well, yeah, like almost. Like, remember, we talked about this. Have to is not a modal verb. Yeah, half. Yeah, thanks, guys. Almost. Francisco is still here. Yeah, almost. Yeah, thanks, guys. Sometimes you are smarter or about teaching English than me. Yes, semi means half. Thank you. It means half. Yeah, yeah. Have to is kind of what we'll call this. We'll use Francisco's name. Semi-modal verb. Now, why do we call it a semi-modal verb? Well, usually modal verbs go between the subject and the main verb. Right? Usually they go between, so example, I go, we can say can, right? I can go, right? Or I will go, I must go, I should go, I would go, I may go, I might go, right? So we usually say modal verbs between the subject and the main verb. Well, same thing with have to. I have to go. I have to go. What are some other semi-modal verbs? I need to go. What are some others? Well, I think Kaio talked about this. I am supposed to go. Right? Right, Kaio? Yeah, you don't have to do your homework. Yeah, Paul, yeah. Yeah, but what are some other things we can say between the subject and the main verb? Subject and main verb. What are some other things we can say between these two things? Right? Have to, need to. If you love Mark, please share this live stream. If you love Mark, nobody loves Mark. Well, my wife loves, well, hopefully my wife loves me. Ought to, yeah, ought to is a modal verb. Tricky, it's, we're going to talk about it today. I hope, oh gosh, we don't have a lot of time left. Although we did have technical problems this morning, so maybe we'll go a little longer today. Used to, Ryoko, good job. My old student used to. This is not a modal verb, but it's like a modal verb. It's a semi-modal verb. I love you, Mark. You love my teaching. Not you don't love me. You love my teaching, right? Okay, cool. Anything else, guys? Manage to. Andre, thank you. Oops. Manage to. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything else? Like to? I'd like to go. Yeah, I guess so. I like to. Yeah. I used to. Zach, you need a D. Come on, man. Don't teach bad English. I used to. Okay, ought to, might. But we're talking about other things like used to, managed to, supposed to. What about this one, guys? And I saw a lot of these in the comments. I am allowed to, right? Yes, Ryoko, very soon. Had better. Yeah. Get to. Yes. Good job, mi grupo de inglés. Okay. Okay. So, let's talk about should. Let's talk about should. I'm going to open Smrt. Smrt. Guys, check out smrt.me. This is the English program that Sean and I make. It's really, really cool. So here is Smrt. And Ryoko, look, right? If you can't read that, turn on the HD on YouTube, guys. Turn on the HD. Okay. Let's make it a little bit bigger for you. I'd better go home soon. I'd better go home soon. I'd better. Now, had better is not a modal verb. It's not a modal verb. It's a semi-modal verb. It's a semi-modal verb. Not would better. No, Rosa. No, it's had better. Okay. Ooh, Joe Co. I'm watching on 144p. Joe Co. Man, go to a Wi-Fi and get some higher quality. Ooh. We love Mark, but Mark loves pizza. It's true. I love pizza. So Rosa, this doesn't mean would. This means had. I'd better go home soon. I'd better go home soon. I have a lot of homework to do. Now, what does this mean, guys? What does this mean? Yingling Zhang, how are you doing? Ooh, network is poor in my country. Okay, I understand. Do we need had with better? Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, Ryoko. Okay, so we talked about should, right? We talked about should. I'm going to skip should. Let's go here. And somebody asked me about ought to. Now, what does ought to mean? Ought to. Ought to is a modal verb. Ought to is a modal verb. Now, usually we say ought to, right? Ought to. Now this, remember, need to, do we say need not to? No, we don't say that. But ought to is a modal verb because we say ought not to in the negative. Okay? Now, a lot of students have never heard this. Probably you have never heard it because we don't say ought to. We don't say, oh, you guys are talking about Sonora and San Carlos on Facebook. I love that area. I love that place. I want to go back. Francisco, you got to go. It's 12:42 p.m. Okay, see you, buddy. No, Mukhtar. No. Okay. I was saying students usually in my class, they say well, ought to. I have never heard of ought to. Because usually we don't say ought to. Usually we say oughta. No, how do you spell this? Oughta. I don't know how to spell it. Oughta. Example, look. I ought to go. We just say I ought to go. I oughta go. I ought to go. Francisco, bye with an E. You need an E. Bye. See you, buddy. I ought to go. Right? I ought to go. Guys, try that. It sounds like got to, right? You know, I have to. I have to go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go, right? You should go. You should go. We say you ought to go. You ought to go. It's the same thing. It's totally the same thing. Totally the same. 100% the same. And we use it to talk about advice. Okay? Is it a recommend, Marianne, or it's advice? Well, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like your brother, Marianne, or you know, I'm not. Don't listen. This is just an example, Marianne. But you ought to quit smoking. This is my advice, right? You ought to quit smoking. Right? You ought to. I don't know how to spell oughta. You know, like got to, we say gotta. Like this is not good English, right? But sometimes we write that in Facebook or something. I don't know how to write oughta. So you ought to quit smoking. It's kind of the same thing, right, Marianne? You recommendation or advice. If you come to the Canadian College of English Language, you ought to take Mark's class. You ought to take Mark's class. You should take Mark's class. But that, Nikita, that looks like oughta. Shoulda, yeah, okay, Jim. So shoulda, we'll talk about that if we have time today too. But I don't know how to spell oughta. Anyway, so that's ought to, okay? Of course, should is more popular, but ought to is also popular. Ryoko is still waiting for had better. I'm sorry, Ryoko. Let's, well, here we talk about the pronunciation. Okay, Ryoko, here you go. Had better. Had better. What does had better mean? Well, it is a stronger meaning than should and ought to. Okay, it's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit stronger. So you must go, right? Same thing, you have to go. These are strong, right? And a little bit milder, we say you should go, right? But there's something here in the middle. There's something here, okay? Had better, better. Okay, does should have similar meaning to ought to? Yeah, Kaio, I said it's exactly the same. 100% the same meaning. Okay, yes, it is the same. Well, we're getting Facebook notifications here. So let's look at some examples. You'd better take an umbrella today. It looks like it's going to rain. You'd better. You'd better. I'd better charge my phone before we go out. I'd better. Okay. And last one, he'd better not. Okay, he'd better not. So this means he shouldn't spend too much money. He shouldn't. Okay, now, why or when do we use had better? When do we use it? Well, it's, okay. It's only to talk about specific situations. It means there will be a danger. Okay, you ought to go, oh, sorry, what am I talking about? Ought to. You had better go means if you do not go, something bad will or may happen. Do you understand that, guys? Read that slowly. I'll give you some time. If you do not go, something bad will or may happen. This is usually a warning. A warning. Be careful. Right? A warning. Be careful. Okay? So, example, be careful. Right? It may rain today. What does that mean? It may rain, right? Well, maybe it will rain today, right? Be careful. This is my warning. You had better take an umbrella. Understand, guys? You must take an umbrella is strange. It's too strong. You have to take an umbrella is like it's your job or something. We can talk about must and have to next week. That was sort of what I was thinking today is let's talk about must and have to next week. Do you guys like that idea? Let me know in the chat. Why do we use had? I don't know. I don't know, Yingling. This is a modal meaning of had, okay? Had better together is a modal. It's a modal verb. Okay, so had better, negative, had better not. Had better not. So example, you had better not forget your umbrella today. You had better not forget your umbrella today. Okay, you taught me, but I wonder it was just better. Okay, Ryoko, patience. Gosh, Ryoko. Yes, Ryoko, I will talk about that. I will. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's give you some more examples, okay? It's good outside. It's cold outside. You should wear a coat. You ought to wear a coat. This just means it's a good idea to wear a coat, right? Thanks, Paul. It's a good idea to wear a coat, right? Like my advice, yeah, you should wear a coat. I think it's a good idea to wear a coat. But what does this mean? It's cold outside. You'd better wear a coat. That means if you don't wear a coat, you know, it's going to be bad for you. It will be bad for you. It's a little bit stronger. Is these modals just for imperative phrases? What do you mean imperative phrases? Imperative means you just say the verb. Example, be quiet or sit down. So I don't understand your question, Augustus. I should hurry. That just means it's a good idea for me to hurry, right? Yes, Mubarak. Yes, right. Yes, I should hurry. That means, oh, I don't have time. It's a good idea for me to hurry. But I'd better hurry, Ryoko, patience. I'd better hurry means if I don't hurry, something bad will happen. That means it's maybe I will miss my bus, or maybe I will miss the meeting, or maybe, you know, something bad will happen. Now, Ryoko, here you go. Often, in spoken English only, Ryoko. People they only say better. Okay, Ryoko is totally correct. We don't say had or d. Okay, just, you can. It's good English if you say had better or d better. It's good English. But when we're speaking, many people just say better. Okay? No, Gion, not d better. Look. He better call me soon. He better call me soon. He better call me soon. Or, you know, better English. He'd better call me soon. Really good English. He had better call me soon. But usually when Sean and Zach and I are speaking together, we just say, oh yeah, he better call soon. He better call soon. Right? Remember, negative, you better not do that. You better not do that. Right? You better not. So when we're speaking, usually we don't say had. Ryoko is totally correct. Okay, now what about questions? Well, usually we don't say had better with questions. Usually we don't say it with questions. Okay, just use should or ought to with questions. Do you guys understand that? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, like Kaio says, something bad will. It means something bad will happen if you don't do it. It's super common English. Now, you'd better call me soon. Yes, I don't know how to say your name, Chuck. Yes. You'd better call me soon. Yeah, perfect. Aroma's got it. Mukhtar's got it. Yeah, you better come back next week, right? You better come back next week for my lesson next week. Now, you know, is this good English? Is this normal way to say it? You'd better donate to the Smrt live stream. Is this good? Is this the normal way to say, you know, is this the normal reason that we say had better? Remember, had better means it's a warning. It's a warning, right? It means be careful. Does that make sense? You'd better donate to the Smrt live stream? I don't think that's really normal English, right? Probably this is too strong. Yes, Ryoko, thank you. You should donate. Yeah, or you ought to donate, right? Yeah, right, Madara. Yes, good, guys. It's a little strong, right? It's a little strong. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about today is something that Jim, Jim mentioned shoulda. Yes, you guys are. No, Deanna, don't worry. Donating is just to help us grow. Okay, you guys don't have to donate. It's only if you can. We would really appreciate it. You're supposed to. What does that mean? Let's talk about be supposed to. What does that mean, Kaio? Paul coulda, yeah. Yeah. Okay. But what does this mean? Let's just talk about this quickly and then we'll talk about shoulda. Be supposed to. This means you are expected to. You are expected to. This means people think you will do this. Okay, so if I say I am supposed to call my wife at 3 o'clock. What does this mean? I am supposed to call my wife at 3 o'clock. What does that mean? Well, remember, supposed to means people think you will do this. Kaya, wish? No, 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 no. What does this mean? So who's the people? Well, my wife. What does she think? Yes, mi grupo de inglés. I love saying that. I don't speak Spanish, but I like saying your name. What does this mean? It's supposed to be sunny today. Yeah, good, Ryoko. Yeah, people think it will be sunny today. Yeah. Yes, Paul, my wife is expecting me to call. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I wish I could speak it. Learn Spanish. I can't learn Spanish because my tongue, my tongue is broken. Yes, Kaio, someone's waiting for you to do something. Yes, okay. So like Ryoko said, it is supposed to rain today. Or I think she said be sunny because she's not in Vancouver. She's probably in Tokyo, right, Ryoko? Are you in Tokyo still? Deanna, are you married? Why are you asking Deanna if she's married, Zach? What's going on here? Right. This means people think it will rain, right? Okay. Last thing, let's talk about shoulda. So in this lesson today, I explained, what are modal verbs versus normal verbs, right? I talked about that. And if you guys, oh, yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. If you guys joined this class late, remember you can always watch the lesson on our YouTube channel. It will be there after the lesson finishes, okay? And you can see all our old lessons, Sean's lessons, my lessons. So yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel, I think is a good idea. If you guys use YouTube a lot, you should subscribe. Subscribe. That means if we have a new video, you will receive an email or something. If you like our videos, that will really help us grow. Guys, we want to grow. We want to teach the world English, right? Everybody. We want to teach everybody English, right? So I talked about the difference between modal verbs and normal verbs. I talked about should. I talked about ought to. I talked about had better. Now let's talk about should have. And Jim said shoulda. Usually when we're speaking, we say shoulda. Yes, Kaio, should have is shoulda. Okay. Now a lot of students don't know this, but should have plus a past participle is used to talk about the past. It's used to talk about the past, right? That's great, Mark. That's why I am here. Yeah, cool. Mark, good explanation about modal verbs. Thank you. Yeah, and if you guys want to see me without a beard, like Paul says in the comments, you can go to the YouTube channel and you can see me without a beard. You can see me with super long, beautiful hair. I'm joking. I didn't have long, beautiful hair, but yeah. So should have. How do we use this? Give me some examples in the chat, right? So imagine it's raining, and I don't have an umbrella, and now I'm super wet. Right? I should have brought, right? What does brought mean? Bring, bring. I should have brought an umbrella with me. I should have brought an umbrella. No cap, Mark? No cap. Oh, yeah. No hat. Yeah. I should have gone to Disneyland. Why, Deanna? Why? Or just an example? Yeah. 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 I should have brought an umbrella with me, right? This is about the past. This is like, it's a good idea, but about the past. And I can't change the past. And usually this is something you feel bad about. You feel bad about the past. What is this called? Well, this is called a regret. Now, Chikuks, I don't know how to say your name, but you don't have a past, you don't have a main verb in your sentence, right? I should have something one more chance. I should have gone to Canada last year. Good job, Kaio. Kaio, I love you. I love your examples and your questions. I should have gone to Canada last year. Now listen to my super beautiful American English pronunciation. Okay, we can say oh, I forgot the main verb. Whoops. I should have gone to Canada last year. I shoulda, like Jim said, right? Shoulda. I should have gone to Canada. Or sometimes we just say like I should have. I should have. I should have. Is this our first Greek student? Yeah, I don't know any other students from Greece, which is really strange because, you know, we have Italian students, Spanish students, French students, German students, but I've never had a Greek student. That is really interesting. Maybe everybody in Greece speaks English really well. Yeah. So listen to my pronunciation again. I should have gone to Canada. I should have gone. I should have gone. Or I should have. I should have gone. I should have gone. Colombia, yes. Oh, mi grupo de inglés from Colombia. Cayo, yes. I should have. I should have. So this is what we say about the past. This is what we say about the past. Iraq, welcome. Algeria. Joko, you're in Algeria? You're in Algeria? Indian students, cool. Algerian students, yeah. Okay, so let's add that to the list. Let's look. We don't really have time so much for an exercise today. Here we have should and ought to. I think I'll skip that exercise. Let's try this. Let's just choose really quickly. I'm not going to give you time to do it by yourself because we don't have a lot of time. But let's go back and let's think about should or had better not. Just a quick review. Let me make all this a little bit bigger for you to see. Maybe that's too big, right? Let's make it 24. Okay, this cake is delicious. You should try it. This is English 120, Paul. Yeah, this is from the Smrt 120 course. So if you have Smrt, just go to 120. This is grammar 4.2. Okay. The movie starts in 15 minutes. We what? We should, or we had better? Which one? Well, if it's far, if the movie theater is far, I think Rosa's right. I think had better is better. Had better is better. Right? Yeah. How can I open this page, please? Well, you don't have to open it. You can just look at it here. You need to be a smart student. So if you go to an English school with Smrt, you can use this. If you want to learn about Smrt, maybe Zach can give you the link privately. But usually in our live classes, you can just look at it and type your answers in the chat. Okay. The movie starts in 15 minutes. Okay, let's go to C. Whoa, Rosa's fast. Okay. I didn't bring an umbrella. I didn't bring an umbrella. I didn't bring an umbrella. Now, think about this one's a little, maybe a little strange. Think about negative. It shouldn't be raining, or it had better not be raining. It had better not be raining. Which one should we? Should not, Caillou? What does that mean? Remember, should not is like advice or a suggestion, right? But had better is really strong, right? And actually, sometimes we say had better when I really it's really bad if it's raining. If it's raining, it's really bad. It's dangerous. So I think the answer here is it had better not be raining. It had better not be raining. This is actually a little bit something I didn't talk about so much. It's not really a warning, right? It's something we say when we I really hope it's not raining. Okay, we say it better not, or it had better, right? It had better not be raining. It had better not be raining. It had better not. So this is a modal. So remember, a modal verb, we don't say is, like I can is, or he can goes. No, we say he can go. So it had better not be raining. How do you say, okay, so stupid example, but I'm a vegetarian. I always think about this because I always think about myself. I'm sorry, and you know, sometimes I eat food, and then later somebody tells me, "Oh, that food had meat," and I get super angry, right? So imagine I'm eating curry, and it's so delicious, and somebody said, "Mark, I think that curry has chicken in it. I think that curry has chicken in it." Right? Be supposed to, must. What are you guys talking about here? Might, supposed to. Yeah, okay. Exactly, Paul. I really hope it doesn't have meat in it. I really hope. So how do we say that? How do we say that? You love to do that. Yeah, Marianne is a vegan, right? So yeah. Yes, Mubarak, it had better not. I'm sorry guys, I didn't talk about this meaning earlier. It had better not have meat in it. Yeah, it had better not have meat in it. Oh, Josue, you just arrived now? We're going to finish. We are about to finish. That means we are going to finish very soon. I'm sorry, Josue, but you can watch the video on YouTube later. Sorry, sometimes I'm looking at Facebook comments and YouTube comments and I forget what I'm talking about. Sean is not doing a class today, I told you, but actually I forgot to say Sean is doing a class tomorrow. It's a surprise class, and the only way to find it is on the Facebook group, okay? So join the Facebook group and you can see the class there. But it's a surprise class, it's a special class, it's just tomorrow. And so if you join the Facebook group, you can see Sean's special class tomorrow. Okay, Zach? Click the link, guys, in the description. Let's go back and let's just answer a few more questions and then we'll finish. You can borrow my phone, but you what? You what? What do we say for D? What about D? Sorry, I think I missed your answers here. Please write D in your answer. What time will it be? Good question. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in Vancouver, which is GMT -7. So 4 o'clock. Usually Sean's classes are at 3 o'clock, but tomorrow it's at 4 o'clock. Yes, Paul. Yes, Deanna. Will. Have we talked about Will? No. Right? What is this means? If you drop it, I will. I will. I don't know. Sometimes we say I will kill you in English, but it's not serious, right? It's a warning. Don't drop it. You had better not drop it. You had better not drop it. What about this one? E. We visit France one day and visit Alexandra and Marianne. Yeah. Sandra, see you next week. Thank you, Sandra. Really appreciate it. Kill you. Yes, Deanna, yeah. Deanna understands English really well. Should or had better for E? Should or had better? Is this like a warning? No, yeah. Ought to, Kaio or Rosa, yeah, should. You're right. Ought to. Yeah, both are okay. We ought to visit. And remember the pronunciation. Oughta. Oughta. What about F? You read this novel. It was pretty good. So is it really strong, like a warning, or is this my advice? Right? Mukhtar can. No, we're just using should or ought to or had better. Just the things we talked about. F is, yeah, should. I think so. I think should. Yeah. Okay, let's do a couple more. Take a photo of the whiteboard in case I forget what the teacher said. This means maybe I will forget what the teacher said, right? So this will be the last one, and then we'll finish class. Okay, guys? What do you think for G? What do you think for G? Right? You're in class, and maybe the teacher writes a lot of notes, and you think, oh, maybe I will forget, right? Maybe I will forget. Aroma thinks should. Mubarak thinks ought to. They're okay, but look, guys, look, something bad. Remember, had better means, something bad may happen, right? Yeah, I think Ryoko is correct. I think Ryoko's answer is the best. I'd better take a photo. I think this is more common English because the meaning is maybe I will forget. So it's a warning to myself. Yeah, good job, Kaio. Good job, Mukhtar. Good job, Aroma. So guys, I think next week we're going to talk more about obligation. Okay, that means like should, have to, must. Until then, join me in the Facebook group. Ask questions. You guys know we will answer your questions. Please donate if you can. Click the link under the video description. Again, Sean's class tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific time, so GMT -7. Please ask me in the Facebook group, if you don't understand what that means. Anything else? I think that's it. See you next week, next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And until then, keep studying English, guys, and good luck. Have fun. See you later. Bye now.